What's up, people? It's your girl Adeola. So it's the end of the year and I'm thinking, wouldn't it be nice to take a look at some of the achievements of President Goodluck Jonathan, you know, my favorite president in the whole world. Yes, and this is to shame those of you that have been saying bad stuff about Mr. President, those of you that have been saying that he's not doing anything. I hope that after I reveal some of his achievements for 2012 that you all will repent of your sins, all of you. Yes, so let's start from a more recent achievement. Number 1, under the leadership of President Goodluck Jonathan, the mother of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala that was kidnapped was found on the 6th day. What? That is an achievement. For those of you that are not celebrating, you were supposed to celebrate right there. Within 6 days, they found the woman. That is an achievement, considering the fact that kidnapping has been a serious problem in Nigeria. For some people, it took them months before they finally found them. In fact, some people were never found alive. That is so sad. But under this administration, they were able to find someone within 6 days. Just 6 days. That is an achievement. And thanks to the Nigerian police force for all their hard work, because they claimed to know the hideout of the kidnappers. Unfortunately, they were still getting ready. Like, getting ready for days. I love the Nigerian police force. They're very systematic, very tactical, very deliberate. They calculate so well. They waited and waited until they brought out the woman. And then they were like, we knew the hideout. We were just getting ready. We were preparing to bust the place. So yeah, you gotta give them kudos. Another achievement of President Goodluck Jonathan this year is how he handled all the bomb explosions. Some people think that the president has not been doing anything. I tell them, wait, just be patient. They are investigating all the cases. They've told us that they are on top of it. Unfortunately, no murder case has been successfully investigated to conclusion in Nigeria. But I told my people, I said, just wait till 2050. All our questions about Boko Haram will be answered, because the policemen have a lot of cases that they are still investigating. As far back as like 1986, you know, they are still trying to figure out who killed Delegiwa, who killed Bolaige, who killed MKO Abiola. So many questions are yet to be answered. Yes, but not only are the policemen doing serious investigations, but Mr. President himself has been in dialogue with Boko Haram for quite some time now. It's about some months now that they are doing this dialogue. Yes. So just give it some time. Something good will come out of it. Yes, I know that they are still bombing places, especially churches. And I know that people are still dying. But trust me, we just need to be patient. What baffles me though is that they were saying they didn't know who's behind Boko Haram. In fact, Mr. President once said that these people are not organized.
Do you know how many Boko Haram are involved?
Nobody can say for now, because you know that they are not organized armed forces.
Yeah, he said these people are not organized. So I don't know how they're able to dialogue with people that they don't know, people they can't put faces to. But hey, I trust my president that he knows what he's doing. Another achievement is, I know you've been waiting for this one, Mr. President launched cassava bread in Nigeria. I mean, that's a great achievement. Not only did he introduce cassava bread into Nigeria, but he also took it to Malawi. You get what I'm saying? Our president is very influential. My only problem with the cassava bread is that the thing is very expensive. It's very expensive because only the rich people, you know, the people in Asorok are the ones that I've seen eating the bread. Even me, I've not been fortunate enough to taste that thing. I've only been eating agege bread. How many of you that are watching me have eaten cassava bread? Do you see it on the street of Lagos? So that thing is expensive. So I'm hoping that our government can subsidize cassava bread. So moving on, Mr. President also changed the name of Unilag to Maulag. That's an achievement because no president has ever tampered with the name of such a prestigious university, Unilag. Yeah, you feel me? But he was able to change it from Unilag to Maulag. Although since they changed the name, they've not done any like renovations in the school, like the hostels or the classroom. They didn't even repaint anything. They just changed the name on paper. It's very sad. I'm just so glad that the man didn't change it to Goodluck University, because that would cause some riots, like some serious riots, you feel me? And don't forget, Mr. President successfully removed oil subsidy. I mean, that's an achievement. How many presidents since independence are tampered with oil subsidy in Nigeria? Only President Goodluck Jonathan. So that is an achievement. Although the government is still subsidizing oil for the rich importers, you get what I'm saying? It's just the common people that no longer enjoy subsidy in Nigeria, even though we are one of the largest oil producers in the whole world. Yes. And by the way, only 2 of our refineries are working. And they are not even working up to capacity. The government claims that these refineries are working up to 40% capacity, but that cannot be right, because even if these refineries are working up to 40% capacity, we would have more oil, and oil will be cheaper in Nigeria than it is right now. Why do we have to keep exporting our own oil? And see, voila, we are producing oil, but we still have to export our own oil to another country, to places like Ghana, like Niger, for God's sake, Niger, for them to refine it for us, and then we have to import our own oil back. Think about the cost of that transportation, sending it back, sending it forth, and then the money you have to give to the people that will refine it. At the end of the day, the money that we are spending on the production of oil in Nigeria is ridiculous amounts. And don't forget that in the process of exporting the oil for refinery and importing it back and exporting and importing, a lot of gallons of oil, I mean millions of gallons, disappear. You get what I'm saying? And by the way, did you guys notice that all the people that were probed for embezzling the subsidy fund, the $6 billion, did you notice that all of them have been released? Like seriously, they've all been released. By the way, no money was recovered, so we may as well forget about the $6 billion. Even the Farouk Otedolas case was never concluded. I mean, was it? Those men are now free men in Nigeria. And don't forget that last week, Mr. President asked for another $1 billion. Yes, 161 billion naira as a supplementary subsidy fund. And I'm wondering, what are they subsidizing again? And then I remember, oh, the importers are still being subsidized. So you know, last week I was telling you that there's a rumor that the kidnappers of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala's mother, that they were asking for $1 billion. What I didn't tell you is that a friend of mine wrote me. He said, Adeola, did you notice that the same time that the kidnappers were asking for money was the same time that Mr. President asked for an extra $1 billion to supplement subsidy fund? I said, what are you trying to say now? Because you know, the kidnappers only took 10 million naira. Oops, did I say that out loud? Yes, I mean, yes, they took money. Ngozi's mother she didn't just come out of nowhere. The police told you now that they've not attacked the place. You think she just came out by herself? No, she was not rescued. She was delivered. You get what I'm saying? According to agreement, yes. So the kidnappers were paid 10 million naira. If that were to be the case, that means the kidnappers had been shortchanged. Yes. Don't forget, my people, we are talking about President Jonathan's achievement in 2012. Although our roads are still bad. In fact, some of our roads are now worse. For a whole year, they were not able to fix the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road. A whole year, my people, they kept changing companies, you know. But not only are the roads bad, my people, the airways are bad too. Yes, this year we had a major plane crash that killed more than 150 people. They are still investigating that, by the way. Nobody was fired. The airline is back in business. Everything is business as usual. We had 2 helicopter crashes. One governor is still receiving treatment in Germany. Another governor died. I'm going to talk about that later. But yes, our roads are not good. The air transportation is no longer safe. Some say that electricity is becoming stable, but I still see people every night between 6 and 7 in Lagos trying to queue for gas with their jerrycans. You feel me? To feel their, you know, I better pass my neighbor. Yes, that should answer all your questions. And the president is also yet to declare his asset. But as you can see, Mr. President had made a lot of achievements in 2012. My only problem is with his wife, Patience Jonathan. That woman started well in 2012, you know, giving speeches left and right, launching hair salons, visiting women from the south, you know, visiting widows, giving great speeches. In fact, I was enjoying her speeches better than that of Michelle Obama. She was doing so well. All of a sudden, after she traveled to Germany for you know what, yes, she came back. She has not been giving any speeches. I said, what is going on now? You know, as concerned Nigerians, we are getting worried. People are getting worried though. Where is Patience Jonathan? We are missing her speeches. She needs to get back in the groove. Yes. Other than that, it's been a wonderful administration. I'm just keeping it real. So last Saturday in Nigeria, a Navy aircraft crashed, killing 6 people, including Kaduna State Governor Patrick Yekowa, a former National Security Advisor, retired General Andrew Azazi, an aide to Governor Patrick, Dauda Tosho, a warrant officer, Mohammed Kamal, an aide to the former Security Advisor, Owoye Azazi, and the pilots, Commander Muritala Mohammed Dabar and Lieutenant Adeyemi O. Sowole. They were all coming from the burial ceremony of the father of the Special Advisor to President Jonathan, Mr. Douglas, in Bayelsa. Our condolences to all the families. May their souls rest in peace. I'm hoping though that as a nation we would learn from these tragic incidents in order to prevent other occurrences. First of all, Punch newspaper reported that this aircraft had made 14 trips that day, that it was making its 15th trip when it crashed. And I'm wondering, why do you have to make 15 trips on one helicopter in one day to the same event? And please, no offense, but why did the Nigerian Navy deploy 2 helicopters that were meant for the Navy? Why did they deploy 2 helicopters to serve as kabu-kabu for a private event? I mean, those choppers were supposed to be monitoring oil bunkers. Yeah, that's what they were supposed to be doing. Since when do we start using them for private events? Number 3, if the roads are good, I don't think one helicopter would have to make 15 trips in one day to one private event. But obviously our roads are not good. Most people would rather fly now in Nigeria than to drive. I mean, if you're traveling by road now from one city to another in Nigeria, you have to book extra hours. If it's a journey that is supposed to take you 4 hours, you know it will take you about 8 to 10 hours. So you have to plan ahead and give yourself some hours because you know the roads will not be good. Not only that, a lot of people have died on the roads of Nigeria because of accidents. So on a serious note, we need to be more accountable with how we use government resources in Nigeria. But not just that, we need to fix our roads so people can feel safe while driving. You know me, I'm just keeping it real. So did you hear about that minister in Malawi? Hey, yes, that one. The guy got too excited that he was about to do it with a teenager that he forgot to read the instruction label on the medicine. Yes, that medicine. The guy, he took too many pills. What? You've not heard about the story? Okay, so let me tell you. So the defense minister in Malawi, yes, apparently took his teenage girlfriend, a secondary school girl for that matter. He took her to this hotel in Malawi and he was trying to catch up with the young bloods. So he decided to pop some pills. Unfortunately for him, the pill was too strong for him and that was how the man collapsed. So in the middle of doing it, the man collapsed. It was the teenage girlfriend. She's actually from Namitete Secondary School. She was the one that ran to the hotel staff, be like, hey, trouble don't happen, I beg, call ambulance. Oga don't collapse. He was doing it, all of a sudden, he just collapsed. I beg, call ambulance, call ambulance. So those people called ambulance. And that was how they rushed the Oga to the hospital. But guess what? As soon as the guy got well, he went on national TV to debunk the story. He said, this is not true. I didn't sleep with any teenager and this and that. I'm well. I wasn't sick. So, you know, I looked at him. I said, this man looks like a respectable man. Yes, I mean, a whole minister, he has to be a respectable person, seriously. So me, I believe him more. I said, maybe the girl just came up with the story. Yes, it must be a lie. So I was expecting the hotel people to come up and say, this is a lie. Oh, don't involve us in any lie. Oh, we didn't call any ambulance. Oh. But the hotel people refused to comment. They said for the privacy of their customer. I said, hey, wait, something is not adding up. I said, something is wrong. If the hotel people will not talk, this story has to be true. Yes, because if it's not true, they will be the first person to say, this is not true. Don't get us in something that is not true. We didn't call any ambulance, nobody collapsed. But they didn't say that because they didn't want to lie, you see. At the same time, they didn't say that it didn't happen. But me, I was able to put 2 and 2 together. I said, nobody can sit down in their house and just come up with this kind of story and the guy will not debunk it until he was discharged from the hospital. You know, I mean, it took some days for him to debunk the story. He had to be well. It was after he was discharged that he got on national TV to say it's not true. I said, these African officials, they tire me. They always have their own drama. If it's not multiple wives, it has to be a teenage girlfriend. And now you are taking Viagra. These African officials, they just like to do it. These men, they need to do their jobs and quit chasing after teenage girls. Anyway, you know, me, I don't like to talk about people, you know, I'm just keeping it real. So this email is from Raf from South Korea. He said, Adeola, I want you to please ask Mr. President that when he was a fisherman in Bayelsa State, how much was he spending on his feeding budget in a year? Raf, you are very tricky. You are very, very tricky. And I know people like you. You are trying to get me to say some things, but I won't say it. I know where you are coming from. You want me to say that before Mr. President became a public official, that he probably had no shoes, that he was shoeless. But I won't say that. I know what you are trying to do. You want me to say that nobody knew him, that nobody was naming their children good luck at that time. That is what you are trying to get me to say. But I won't say that. I won't say that. You also want me to say that now that he has become a public official, that his mouth has Enwetife. You feel me? Yes. But I won't say that. I will not fall for your trap, Raf. But this is what I will say. The fact that the president used to be shoeless and now he eats with 1 billion naira a year, it doesn't mean that he has changed. He's still the same person that he was. He's still as humble. The fact that he used to be a fisherman and now he's a president doesn't mean anything. The only person that changed in the equation is Patience Jonathan, and the only change that I see, they are good changes. She has added some weight, which in Africa is a sign of doing well. Yes, you don't expect her to be losing weight in Aso Rock, do you? And Raf, let me ask you one question. How many people have named their children after you? Nobody names their children Raf. But Mr. President has so many children that have been named after him. Unfortunately, their parents are trying to change their names now, but it's too late. You feel me? I'm just keeping it real. Alright, y'all, it's been real, and I'm keeping it real right up in here. Until next year, Merry Christmas, y'all.